Marriage. Marriage is what brings us together today. As much as I love to quote the impressive clergyman, marriage does not seem to be bringing us together today. We women of the Western world thank heaven that someone somewhere decided to fight for our right to marry whoever we love. But was this really the best advancement? I mean, shortly after, we were fighting for our right to file for divorce. It seems like the very institution of marriage has been dissolving once we made love the deciding factor. Don't get me wrong, I'm actually a huge romantic. Ever since I was a kid, you know, dreaming of my Prince Charming sweeping me off my feet, one true love, etc. But as I've grown older, I've been able to see through the commercialism of love and discovered that maybe our Disney dreams aren't for the best. I mean, look at our divorce rate. Something is wrong with our love-based marriage system. That is why I have come to the conclusion that arranged marriages are in fact a better method for matching spouses. Now I know this may sound a little crazy. I thought so too at first, but that's just because that's not our culture's understanding of marriage. And if we were to do just a little bit of research, we would find that many other cultures disagree with our concept of marriage. So, today I'm going to prove to you that arranged marriage is more beneficial for the couple, for the family unit, and for our society as a whole. First of all, it benefits the couple. The first reason is that it develops a longer lasting love. The first reason for this is that beauty becomes more than skin deep. According to Dr. Margaret Paul, PhD in psychology, she states that initial physical attraction is a very poor indicator on how well a relationship will work out. And I'm sure most of us from experience can agree. One starts to look at the deeper necessities when in an arranged marriage situation, because in most cultures, an arranged marriage, it's very rarely easy to bow out of that relationship because so many people are involved. You're kind of stuck with what you get. So they focus more on the character and the ability to provide rather than the aforementioned physical attributes. Also, Western thinking, we say that if marriage doesn't start off with love, how are they going to develop a satisfying, love-filled marriage later? Well, the Journal of Counseling and Development posted a study that went out in Indian families to compare the satisfaction rates between arranged marriages and love-based marriages. According to the study, the results provide no support for differences in marital satisfaction or love aspects of wellness in relation to arranged marriages. They also compared those actually living in India in arranged marriages and those living in America in love-based marriages and still found no difference. Secondly, the couple is benefited because they will avoid terrible experiences because of the methods used to choose a mate. Mostly because the family is involved and there's accountability. Parents want their children to be cared for financially, emotionally, physically, and even spiritually. Keeping these things in mind makes it a lot less likely that one of the spouses will end up abusive physically, emotionally, and mentally to the other spouse. Also, the fact that emotional love is not involved actually helps there to be less problems. Because, I mean, we think of love as the key factor, but actually, according to Robert Epstein, a senior research psychologist at the American Institute for Behavior Research and Technology, says that, in fact, the key to a strong arranged marriage is the higher level of parental involvement from the beginning. He states that, basically, the parents are trying to figure out whether something could go wrong that would break them apart. So they're looking out for a long-lasting relationship rather than someone just being excited about this one person that they feel like they love and they have that emotion. They're not thinking about what might end that. Lastly, the individuals involved are not slaves to tradition as Westerners think. Before marrying, they pursue educations and jobs and have the choice to continue working after marriage. One testimony, Jyoti Sampat, went to university in Quebec before her family even began to look for a mate for her. And the individuals actually, they have a substantial say in who they marry. In her case, her parents, they stuck to a criteria that she set for them. For her, he wanted him to be tall, not eat meat, not drink alcohol or smoke. And then in another testimony, Shamali Paul, she said that her parents had respected her preferences in a mate too, though they mostly had to do with physical attributes because she trusted her parents with the other characteristics that she would need in a husband. And now, as we've seen, the family being involved helps it to be more beneficial for the couple, but it also is more beneficial for the family unit. First of all, it keeps the family knit together. This is because, first of all, in-laws would get along better because the marriage is a mutually beneficial agreement. And it can be logically reasoned that if both sides of in-laws have come to some sort of agreement, then drama concerning whether the couple is going to get along with their in-laws or if the in-laws are going to get along with each other, most likely they'll all get along. And this is commonly, comically displayed in our society as a problem because of love marriages happening against a parent's will. Also, Shamali Paul's testimony revealed that her extended family, they all came together to find her a husband. And this includes extended family. And it's the same for Jyoti Sampat's testimony as well. She said that her whole family was willingly enlisted to aid her in her quest to find a husband. And also, this knits the family unit together because attitudes would be less self-centered and more others-centered because of the very values that an arranged marriage requires. Honor of family, duty for one another, and responsibility for the future, their children. Parents are given also more respect. They have a better relationship with their kids than in Western society because the children have to trust their parents to protect them, to provide for them, to instruct them in how to live. The parents also know their kids and expect greatness from them. They have to know their kids in order to find a good match, and they have to trust them and expect them to work hard at being a good match. And then also they have to think of their child's well-being in order to benefit the whole family with the aspects of duty, honor, and financial stability, etc. Lastly, the family unit is benefited by arranged marriages because it provides more stability for the children. It's evident that children need both parents in their lives to be healthiest mentally and emotionally. In the Western world, 50 to 70% of marriages end in divorce. And in the US, it's 40% of children who have divorced parents. And that's according to the US Department of Health of 2013. And according to Single Mother's Guide of 2013, 1 in 3 children grow up without a father. Science Daily posted in 2008 that children who have an active father figure in their lives, they have fewer psychological and behavioral problems. The process of divorce itself can destroy a child's emotions. The National Institute of Mental Health has actually redefined post-traumatic stress disorder to include prolonged exposure to stressful events that cause extreme emotional distress, and this includes children going through a parent's divorce. Arranged marriages have worked for longer than history can even tell us. In fact, our marriage of choice or love-based marriages is actually a really recent idea. In fact, in the last 200 years. And it's pretty much only exclusively love-based in Western cultures, like the United States. Most of the world still practices arranged marriages. Why? Because arranged marriage has been proven to benefit society as a whole. It benefits society as a whole. One, for our society, it would decrease divorce. Now, that would decrease divorce because it'd be less likely because of what goes into finding a match for each person, but it'd also be less accepted because of how many people are involved in making a match happen. This decrease in divorce would give children more stability. It would also give the government more financial stability because the amount of people on welfare and government aid would decrease because it would be more likely for there to be a steady provider in the house. Also, it would decrease in sexual promiscuity. In order to find a match in an arranged marriage system, our society's values concerning purity would have to improve. Purity and faithfulness is of the utmost importance when a family is looking for their family member's mate. So, and I know in our culture the idea of saving yourself for marriage seems archaic, but with this system we have to think about it. The chances of your parents wanting you to marry forever someone who has been loose for whatever they want is unlikely because of what it says about character itself. But this decrease in sexual promiscuity would also advance our society in other ways. It would decrease other issues such as teenage and unplanned pregnancies, which would also decrease the rate of abortion without hindering anyone's choice to choose, or right to choose, and it would decrease the amount of children in the foster care system. It would also decrease the transmission of HIV/AIDS and other sexually transmitted infections. But even more than this, it would decrease our rate in crime. Most criminals in our society come from broken homes. According to the Heritage Foundation, as of this year, over the past 30 years, the rise in violent crime has paralleled with the rise in families that have been abandoned by their fathers. And according to the Telegraph, children from broken homes are 9 times more likely to get involved in delinquent behavior. The increase in stability for children means the decrease in criminals that our society releases into the streets. Now, I have just shown you how arranged marriages benefits the couple, benefits the family unit, and benefits our society as a whole. If we were to incorporate an arranged marriage system into our westernized world, I admit it would take a little while to take root. But if we can honestly think and try to give up this comfortable fantasy of one true love to attempt this tried and true way of matchmaking, we might find comforts that benefit people more than just ourselves. And then perhaps marriage will bring us together again.